Greetings, Andy here again, and this is the closure of my 2023 sort of roundup. So at the end of my Advent calendar rundown, when I did one or two, I promised to just do a quick sort of honourable mentions, the ones which nearly made it but didn't quite. I've got 8. I'm going to run through very quickly. I'm not going to sort of dwell on any of them. I'm going to start off with 2. That in hindsight really should have been on the list. And the first of those, and I might say if I was doing the list now, they would be in place of one of the others. I'm not sure which. It's Slow Dive is this one. It's Everything is Alive. Lovely album, very shoegazy, as shoegazy is a shoegazy thing, and it's in a lovely pink colour. Now, this was on my list to start with, and I ummed and ahed over this and a couple of others, and for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, I ended up with this one off it, and it shouldn't have been. There are a couple of other albums on there which I definitely prefer less than this. So this was an omission. It should have been on, and it wasn't. The next one is a bit, again, not only should it have been on there, I think it could have made mine into my top 10. And the reason it was off was it came out quite early in the year, in February. And for some reason, when I was putting the list together at the end, I totally forgot about it. It's an album I played a couple of times when I first got it and enjoyed it, but didn't really go back to it. So it was sort of like I just hadn't listened to it enough or recently enough, and I've listened to it a couple of times now, and I really, really like it. And I'm talking about Yo La Tengo and their album, what's it called? This Stupid World, which came out in February. It's very resplendent on blue. Let me see if I can pull it out. Sort of blue, semi-transparent. I mean, Yo La Tengo have been around for absolutely donkey's years. So this is their 17th studio album, I believe. It's the first one I have on vinyl. I have a couple on CD and a couple on purely digital. Trio, husband and wife, or at least partners, playing drums and guitar, a bit like Low. It's a great album, and it's also, 2023 has been really, if there's one, it's not really a genre, but one sort of crossover type that I would say has risen to the fore again, and it's shoegaze. And whilst I've never really thought of Yo La Tengo as being particularly shoegaze, this album really is quite shoegazy, and it's quite scuzzy. It's a really, really good album. So this one, had I remembered it, would have been right up there. Another shoegaze album, which could have made it really easily. I mean, I do like this one. It was just in that sort of, on the day I did the cut, I left it off. Again, it could easily have been, and it's Blonde Redhead and their album Sit Down to Dinner, which is very resplendent in. Well, I think it's white. They call it yogurt. So what's the difference? I don't know. So that's Blonde Redhead and Dexys. This came out, I can't remember when, sort of mid-year, I think. It's Dexys, it used to be Dexys Midnight Runners, Kevin Rowland, etc. And it's called The Feminine Divide. I really enjoyed this. It's another one which, again, could easily have made my top, not my top 10, but it could have made my 24 shortlist. It's in a sort of strange green. It's a bit like that mint green, which one of the others was in. I've forgotten which now. So it's just a lovely album. If you like Dexys Midnight Runners, it's a good one. M83 Fantasy. So M83 is what's his name now? Gonzalez. Forgotten his first name. Lives in New York now for a long time, but hails from the Antibes in the south of France. It's very sort of French DJ type music, quite electronic. And what colour is this one? Is this? Oh, it's a sort of a splodgy blue affair. It's a double. If you know M83, you'll recognise the type of music. It's for some reason it didn't quite grab me. I probably just need to listen to it more. Another one which I enjoyed, but not quite enough for it to be right up there, and it is Gabriel's and their album Angels and Queens, or is it Queens and Angels? I can't remember. And it's sort of like quite gospelly. They're an interesting band, a mix of sort of Brits and Los Angeles, and it's in grey. Yeah, semi-transparent silver grey vinyl. It's a single LP. As I say, it's got this sort of gospel tinge to it, quite soul. Not my usual type of music, but I just liked it. And Baxter Jury. I have to be in the mood for Baxter Jury. So this is Ian Jury of the Blockheads' son. Obviously, he's now well in his 50s, and he sings in a sort of he sings in a monologue, a sort of a drawly sort of spoken voice, which isn't remotely rap or anything like that. It's almost a narration, but it's quite good. And this one is in a sort of dark bluish, again semi-transparent, with a little bit of swirly stuff in the middle there. And last, and out of mine least, I'm afraid, a very good album. Just sort of, I found it okay, and that's the Rolling Stones and Hackney Diamonds. I mean, it almost to me was a little bit of a novelty record in the sense that it was much better than I thought it probably would be. I listened to a couple of tracks and decided to buy it because I, don't really have any Rolling Stones, and I like them. I much prefer the really early bluesy stuff. This is good. It's amazing that Mick's voice has held up as well as it has for his age, and they can still play and they can still write. If you're really into the Rolling Stones, this is brilliant. I like the Rolling Stones. They're okay. I can always listen to them, but out of all the albums I bought this year, probably this is not my least favourite, but it's towards the bottom end. But a lot of people like it, and it would be on a lot of other people's lists. Just didn't make mine. So there are a few others I haven't bothered going through, which which were okay, but I've only listened to once or twice and don't really have any desire to go back to. So maybe I'll try and sell them. I've never actually sold any of my vinyl. Give it a go anyway. So. Thanks for listening, and a very happy new year. I think this is the last one I'll be doing before the new year. I'm rambling. Have a lovely new year and take care. Cheers.